Hi, friends.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, sorry we were a few minutes late, but it takes longer when you have to hop everywhere. Anyway, we're here. Welcome. I guess first things first, can you see us and hear us? And my name is Noelle, and this is my friend
Kelly.
And we are a knitting podcast coming to you from Southwestern Ontario, Canada. On another, why are Tuesday nights the snowy days, or Tuesdays the snowy days? Because I had a hospital appointment last Tuesday, a hospital appointment this Tuesday, and those are the days that there's snow outside, and like I'm hopping to the car with my walker, and anyway, all is good. We made it there and back, and everything was fine. So anyway, hi everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. This is our Tuesday little informal get together with all of our knitty friends, and we're so happy that you're here.
Yeah, and we want to say a big welcome to not only those of you that are joining us live tonight, but also to those of you that will be joining in throughout the week before next week, and watching this live stream as well. We just have a lot of fun doing this every Tuesday, and it's a very welcoming group. I know tonight, let me see, I skimmed through the comments. Mary Ruth was the first person in here tonight, I think at 5:40. So she was tailgating early. Hi, Mary Ruth. Other notable comments that I saw just when I did the skim, Nikki, wishing you to get well soon. Nikki's been in the hospital for a couple of weeks. I hope it's something you were able to do a little bit of knitting through to help pass the days. The hospital can be a long time. I know that a day can go pretty slow.
Yeah.
And so I hope you're feeling better and on the mend. Pat's in here tonight. Pat was at VKL this past weekend. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I was living vicariously and watching all the social posts from everybody that was at VKL in New York this past week. Isabel's in here tonight, and she has cast on a Riptide vest. So we're excited about that. And lastly, that I saw, and not least, but a huge thank you to Shirley, who popped in and reminded everybody to please hit the like button. And that would be awesome. Thank you so much, Shirley, for reminding us of that. I know I'm trying to be more mindful when I watch podcasts. That's one of the first things I do when I start watching, if it's a repeat podcast, trying to get myself in a little bit of a mental habit to do that. It's really helpful for the channel to help the broadcasts get in front of more people. So thank you if you have hit the like, and thanking you in advance, if you will. Okay,
whoops, tonight sorry. we did say, because we are going to have a special guest who designed the Riptide slipover. We did plan that we would wear them.
We did.
We never planned what we were going to wear underneath them, and we both got denim shirts under them.
It's that ESP, that friend ESP. Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, and honestly, because this is not what I had on to start with, I must have tried on, because mine's just finished blocking, so I must have tried on about 4 or 5 things with it, and then went with the denim vest. So.
And I was going to wear, actually, I have a navy dress, and I thought, oh, maybe tonight I'll wear the navy dress. And then at the last minute, I shifted and I found a different denim shirt than I wore last week, because yes, I think I'm wearing this Riptide now. This is 3 weeks in a row, but I wanted to wear it tonight in honor of Jen, who is going to be joining us. She had someone that she had to pick up at band practice, a son, I think, and she's going to be joining us probably right around the 7:30 mark. So we thought we would just kind of jump in right away and get at some things, and then be ready to welcome her in when she shows up. We're excited about this. This is fun to have a friend in the studio. I don't think we've had sit-ins for either one of us.
We've not had an extra person on, so we'll see how this goes.
We'll see how.
We think we've got it worked out, but you never know until you actually go live.
Yes, and we have some other people already sort of lined up that we want to have a chat in here with us as well. So this is our inaugural third person.
That's right.
In the studio. We'll see how it works.
Yep. So
okay,
so we did have I do have a couple of things. I did have some homework, but because of the fact that we're kind of doing a little bit of format, 2 things that we're going to kind of table until next week. First of all was alternate bobble methods. So we will get into that next week. And then the other one was looking for some mohair alternatives. Well, we might have some research in the mail. we really want to do a good job of
Noelle might have broken her "I will not buy yarn in January."
Kelly, you didn't have to tell them that till next week. It would be February next week.
I know, but you did order it in January. So we all knew she wouldn't make it through, right? We knew this. So
it was funny because Jacqueline was here. Jacqueline was here looking after me last week. And I said, Jacqueline, it's January 24th and I haven't bought any yarn yet. And she just looked at me and said, January isn't over yet.
Lots of time. Lots of time. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, but it is research for the podcast. I can justify it like that.
Okay, we could have justified one color as research for the podcast, but
Kelly.
the fact that we may have bought 4 colors, it's hard to say.
Anyway.
Yeah. We want to wish, I just see Julia's in here. We weren't sure. Julia's been going through some painful health issues as well. So it's good to see us.
Julia.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, get on top of that. Get on top of that, girl. We missed you on Saturday.
That's right. A couple of days she said she couldn't knit. Like to me, and I said to Ross, I said, that is how you know you are sick. If you can't knit.
If you are too sick to knit,
you are sick.
You are sick. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember I've been through some of those, but okay. So what do we want to get at? We're already 12 minutes in and we've been dawdling through.
Yeah, there was a couple of things. Okay, first of all, someone had asked if anybody had worked with the Haya yarn, and the Haya yarn is a yarn from Holst, whether they had worked with it double. And Kelly, I think you have.
Not double. Or did I double?
Did you not hold it double? Or did you hold it with something else? Maybe you held it with.
I did. I held it with Titicaca. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I had to think about what I made with it. I actually had a skein of it sitting right here. So I'll show you what this is. This is the Haya yarn. It's 70% baby alpaca, 20% mulberry silk, and 10% yak, and super, super luscious. This is really, really soft yarn. And I held it with a strand of Titicaca, and I made a Sophie scarf with it. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So someone was looking at, they were going to hold it double to do a project. So I know like the actual yarn itself, I've not worked with it. Kelly's worked with it, but held with something else. So we just wondered if anybody had held it double and what kind of gauge you got with it.
There are 183 meters in 50 grams.
Okay,
so
it's a little bit heavier than Titicaca because Titicaca is like 400 and something.
Yes. But I was even thinking like a fingering weight, because a fingering weight in 50 grams, you get what, 210 meters?
Yeah.
So this is even, this would be like a really heavy fingering then, I guess.
Okay. Maybe. So if you held it double, you're probably getting a DK to a light worsted.
I would say maybe closer to a light worsted because it's plump. Okay. It's a really plump yarn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, okay. And Isabel says she's worked with it paired with Titicaca. Oh, that's what she's using for a Friday slipover. That'll be nice. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I know, Natalie, I will start again. February is a new month. How many days do I have left? February.
Okay, February's not here.
Anyway, okay, so that was one question. And then the other one was just someone was looking to find a Let Lopi pattern that had color work at the top for a vest. Okay, I did a search on this and I had a difficult time really finding anything, but what I did find, there were a couple of vests done with the Let Lopi, but they were older Norwegian patterns and they weren't very size inclusive. Like they only went up to like a 45-inch chest, but they looked very similar to like one of Jen Steingass's patterns, but you just, instead of doing the sleeves, you kind of cast off around here. So if you wanted to do something simple like that, you could actually go and take one of those patterns, like the top down patterns or bottom up. That is a full pullover, but instead of like here where you kind of put stitches on hold for your sleeves, just you could cast that off and maybe just do like, I don't know, a tiny little rolled edge or maybe 1 or 2 rows of rib. And I think you'd get the same look at those other ones that I saw, and you'd have much more selection as far as what you wanted to put in your color work pot at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they would look nice under, like on top of like something like a denim vest, or like this is my second vest. And I honestly absolutely love it, because this with the denim shirt on, it feels much more comfortable than having the denim shirt and then a full sweater over top of it. Because then your arms get really constricted when you've got both a couple of layers like that.
Yes.
So this is, I definitely there will be more vests in my future. So
I believe there already is a new vest in your future. And I've got one on needles as well and plans for other ones. So if you haven't seen our last, I think we put it out 2 weeks ago. We actually pre-recorded a podcast that was all about vests, and we went through quite a number of patterns, different vest options. There was knitting vests, there was crochet vests, there were color work, different shapes of vests. So if you haven't seen that yet, that might be something that you'd be interested to go back and have a look at. Actually, maybe I will make a note of that and I'll pop a link in after the show, right above our head somewhere.
Okay. Okay. So we should probably get into, I have some big news. This was an awesome week.
Well, that's not big news, but a happy little bundle of news. Yes.
So, my first grandson was born this week, and they have named him Declan. And I've just got a couple of little photos here. I'll show you his coming home from the hospital, and he had his little booties on that I knit him. So this is Declan Wells. He was born on Wednesday, and he weighed 8 pounds 8 ounces. And he is just the sweetest little bundle of joy, made me totally forget anything about my foot. And I actually did get a chance. My son and daughter-in-law brought him over, so I did get a chance to have some baby snuggles. And oh man, I just love those little baby snuggles. Like, and
aren't they the best?
He is just the sweetest little thing. So that was an absolutely awesome event this week. So anyway, couldn't be happier. And I think we're going to get to go and pay him a little visit tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. So anyway, so yeah, so the little booties, but he was 8'8". Well, his feet are not small because they had him over the one day, and he had on his little socks that I knit him for Christmas, and they were the perfect newborn socks, knit exactly to that size, and they just barely fit his foot, like the length of his foot.
Yes.
So yeah, so I got to get busy making some more. But
yes, he's a very handsome boy. He's got that beautiful complexion, and he looks very snuggly.
And I love the name. So
yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I love that name. Love it.
Yeah. So welcome, Declan.
Yes, welcome. Oh boy, your his cousins, his girl cousins.
I know.
All girl cousins. They're just going to put such a loving on him for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, they're all so sweet. Just Anyways, I have to tell just one little story too. Molly had an eye doctor appointment this week. So Molly just turned 6, but she's in kindergarten, but she reads amazingly well. So Rachel was telling me at the eye doctors, and now they can actually have her read the chart because she can read. So they have the chart up and she's reading it, and he's asking her to read the smaller and smaller lines. And she just looked at him and she said, well, if you make it bigger, I can read it.
So cute.
Anyways, I just thought that was so sweet. But
yes.
Yeah. So grandchildren are great.
They are. Yes. So. And I am thrilled that I can say that now. I never could say I waited a long time to get those that grandbaby. And I get it now. Being a grandma, that's like the best. Absolutely the best.
Yeah.
We did have another question before we move on.
Okay.
Somebody had asked throughout the week, what was a good first sock? They want to become a sock knitter. They had some Croy sock yarn, and could we recommend a good pattern? So the patterns that I recommended, it's actually called the Back to Basics Socks, and it's by Melinda Mesor or Rye Flower Knits. And Melinda is actually a pattern tech editor as well, as well as a prolific knitter. And she has some beautiful lace patterns. So that's sort of her, I think that's her real comfort area is the lace, but she's also got some amazing sock patterns. But this Back to Basics Socks, and it gives you several options on heels, toes, different methods. And she is really, really good at a great pattern. And not only is it a great pattern, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Yeah. And then she also has the Back to Basics DK socks as well. And one other
suggest, if you are just brand new to socks, it might be nicer to do a DK pair first, because they are they're going to go a little bit faster, so there's not as much knitting. It's easier to see your stitches. You're still going to use all the same techniques that you use in a fingering weight sock, but I think you'll get the hang of it better. And then once you've got that down, then move on to the finer yarn. So
Yes. And then another pattern, though, that really came to mind was the smooth operator socks. I think
Yes.
Susan B.
The
Anderson, or
Yep.
Susan B., as we all love to call her, is sort of, it was like the OG pattern on where to get started. And I think she has a couple of heel options in that pattern as well. So anyway, I hope that's helpful if you're thinking about knitting socks and just sort of wondering where to start. But I would highly recommend any of those patterns. Okay, that's all I had for
questions. Do you have any finishes?
I have some. Oh, I was going to say
I forgot to turn my iPad down, and I can't hop over there to do it.
I have. Well, okay, I do have a finish. It's something that I didn't exactly completely do, but it's something I had a hand in. It is my blanket. I can start with that.
Okay.
And this is a blanket that is woven.
Gorgeous.
I just want to show you the colors in it. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Now it is there. Okay. I will show you a finished picture of it because I did pop one of those in tonight. I had Mike go and I remembered it late just before the show. So I'll put that in for you. So that's what it looks like finished. So there's fringe on both the top and the bottom. He's just got the fringe tucked behind him. And it was woven using 5 colors plus a mohair. And this is yarn actually that I won from the Little Red Mitten. And it was their anniversary in their store. And so she did a 5-color bundle. And I'll just quickly show you what the colors are, because it's amazing how these colors can just blend together in weaving to look like something entirely different. Got one more. Okay.
Yeah, it is when you weave, like you wove the first couple of inches in the blanket. Like, isn't it just like magical how the fabric appears?
Yes,
like it's
absolutely.
Just, it's mesmerizing.
It's so much fun. So these are the 5 colors, and the only one that I actually know the name of is this one, which is wallpaper. And this is the colorway that she dyed to match the wallpaper in her store. And then I had this gray as well from Kitchener. And this is like a worsted weight mohair that I bought and really didn't know what I was ever going to do with. And Sarah suggested we pop that into the blanket as well. So it was Sarah, who is a longtime knit chatter in here, our friend from London, who we get to knit with quite a bit on Saturdays. And she has taken up weaving blankets this year and some gorgeous, gorgeous little rugs for around her house as well.
Yes.
But she kindly, very, very kindly offered to help me, or just to get sort of an insight into weaving. And so I went to her house and we spent the day warping the loom and doing all those things. And then I actually only wove, I don't know, maybe this much. And I don't even know. I'm not sure if it's this side or the other side, but it was one of the blue sides anyway. But all the rest of this is all from Sarah. And I just want to say a huge thank you, because this is fingering weight, friends. This is a big project, and but I absolutely love it. And the way these colors just go together, it's just amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. So a huge thank you to Sarah. And I invite you to reach out to her if you're interested in anything like that. And she's on Instagram, and she's got some pictures of other blankets that she's done. And every time she brings us one to show us, I'm just more and more in love. More and more. So thank you, Sarah.
It's beautiful. So, okay. So I have a couple of finished objects. So my first one is another little pair of the Perfect Newborn Socks by Tabitha Gandy. And I do think I have a banner for that. Anyway, since I had to knit ones that were a little bit bigger than the ones that he had already, so I've made these ones. Okay, and these are the same pattern, but what I did was, I can tell you, because the original stitch count is 32 stitches, so I increased it to 36 stitches. So I've got an extra 4 stitches in each sock. I increased the length here, and then I also increased a little bit the length of the foot. So these are actually done in, I had some little tiny samples of Malabrigo Noob fiber that I spun because I wanted to practice my chain plying. So I had enough, like only a little 25-gram ball. So I didn't really have enough to do anything major, but it's a perfect amount to do a little pair of newborn socks. And I even still had like this little tiny bit left. But anyways, it worked out perfectly in the socks. So I have another couple. I think I have another couple of these in some other colors. So I think I'll do another couple of pairs. So I just did the socks and did the twisted, it's like a twisted, well, it's really, you just twist a couple of stitches, but then it looks like a little mock cable. But then if you do that, then on the other side of the sock, you've still got, like you can turn it down for a little ankle sock like this, and you've still got the 2x2 rib at the top. So
they're so sweet. And that is,
they're so much fun to knit.
So
They are
soft,
so much fun
that
to knit.
yarn,
Yeah.
that when I was there and I saw them. Yes.
So yeah, so these are one of a kind, because nobody else is going to have a pair like this, because nobody else would spin the yarn exactly the same way or come out in these color combinations. So these are one of a kind, and I'm going to drop those off tomorrow, and hopefully they'll fit his little feet.
I don't know. I'm wondering if you should take the row out and knit them a little bit longer after.
Maybe I should knit them I should let him pedicure socks. Anyways, hopefully those will fit him. So yeah. Anyway, so that is my first finished object.
Okay. Just before we move on, okay. Sarah had, I don't want to lose this comment. She says she highly recommends the Learn to Weave class at the Little Red Mitten if you are local to the London and St. Thomas area. This is that's where she got her start, and she has not been weaving for very long, but boy, oh boy, she has cotton to it.
Yes, and that is where where I first learned to weave, and it was a great class. And there's some things that I think that are pretty easy to learn if you put on a YouTube thing. I think I benefited greatly from going to the classes and just have someone who knows what they're doing, because there's a lot of steps involved, as you saw, right? You've got to warp it, then you've got to slay it.
Yes.
Then you have to get it all rolled up and nice and tightly. And I still even get Ross to help me roll it, especially if I'm doing tea towels, because you want that roll really nice and tight and a lot of tension on it. But I think it's well worth taking a class to. And a lot of times when you take the class, especially at Little Red Mitten, I believe that you can rent the loom. So you don't have to buy a loom immediately. So then you can kind of figure out whether you're really going to enjoy this or not, and whether you want to make the investment into actually buying a loom. Absolutely. Well, but don't let anybody tell you that it'll help you use your stash. It will not. You will just get a weaving stash as well as your knitting stash.
Well, in this case, it was helpful. It did take a chunk of 5 skeins to do that. So, I mean, that was great, but I could find 5 coordinating skeins. I think sort of where Sarah's interest in it came from was to stash down, and she's working with some heavier weights, but I actually don't have very much worsted or anything like that in my stash. But I did have this bundle, and I thought it looked really good together. I felt really bad when I realized how much work a fingering weight blanket is. It's formidable, but anyway. Okay. Do you have any other finishes?
I do. Okay. So I have finished my Burmy Basic 18.
It's so nice. It's so nice. This is a
pattern by Beth McDonald Stone. I don't have pictures yet, because it's hard to get pictures when only one of your legs works. Anyway, here's the finished. So I will get pictures wearing it and get them up there. But this is finished. So this is the Burmy Basic 18. So this is a pattern that Beth is coming out with that is going to be a basic pattern, and it's a round yoke worked up from the top down, and it's going to be available from, I believe it's a 12 stitch gauge up to a 28 stitch gauge. So no matter what yarn you have, and I believe it's going to go in increments of 2, like 12, 14, 16. So she's getting them all tested right now. I believe that the 18 and the 24 are the ones that are in the test group. So she's getting that done now. So basically it's a blank canvas, and you can kind of do what you want. So it's a 2x2 rib at the neck, 2x2 on your sleeves and on your hem at the bottom. But then I added the striping. And then I also, the yarn that I used is, my main yarn is Full Moon Fibers Moon Rock Slub in the mitten colorway. So this was a special colorway that was done for Little Red Mitten. And then my contrast color, which is held with the main color in the big sections, is Fleece Artist Zambezi, just in the ivory color. And then all the stripes and the little bit of edging at the top of the neck, of the sleeves, and at the bottom is all the mohair held double. And then I also at the bottom did a split hem down here at the bottom. And so it's probably a little bit longer than my hip bone. I don't know, because I haven't tried it on yet. Anyway, so I love it. And I loved knitting it. This is so soft. Oh, Beth's here. She's watching from New York. Hi, Beth. Anyway, absolutely love it. Love the pattern. Again, you could do what you wanted. You could do different stripes. You could add.
This is the perfect pattern because you can buy any yarn that you want to buy. You buy it, and then she will show you the pattern on how to make the sweater. It's fantastic.
And even down
it's a great idea,
right? I could have cropped it. I could have made it tunic length. I could have done my sleeve shorter, because I do believe one of the testers was doing shorter sleeves. Mm-hmm. I also believe that one of them for her eyelets did a yarn over, so it looked like a little bit of lace work up in the top. But yeah, just perfect. I can't wait to wear this. It's so cozy and so, yeah, I really like it. I could see and I love the combination of the slub yarn held with the mohair, because that's kind of the same yarn that's in our Tassels in the Sky.
Yes.
And
I think it's a great use for the slub yarn.
Yep. So, and I think that it kind of tones the slub down a bit when you hold a mohair with it, and just, anyway, super happy with it. So,
okay. Well, I heard the doorbell.
The doorbell.
I heard the doorbell. So I think we have a guest. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Jen on in here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody, that this is going to work for us.
Hey, Jen.
Oh, look, here we go. I'm there. Here we go. This
We're wearing your Riptide slipover. It's like we planned this.
I know.
Look at us, all three.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for having me on here. I have to say, I'm so honored and I'm so gracious about all of the things. You've been so kind about my patterns and everything. And I can't say thank you enough. So
you're
the
welcome.
sweater you just had was lovely, but I'm loving your teal. I haven't seen this.
I love it. This is the first that I've had it on. So I did get a couple of photos, but we're gonna talk about that, because we saved this till you're here.
It's so gorgeous. Look at this.
Thank you.
See, it's so flattering. The best thing is seeing somebody wear your design and have enjoyed knitting it. It's the best feeling, I have to say. There's nothing better.
My husband really liked it too. And normally from him I get, well, what do you think? He'll go, but today he's like, yes, I like it.
That's great. It's fabulous. It's really gorgeous. I can't wait to see it all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we want to thank Jen for coming on. And Jen has been a wonderful supporter of the podcast. Last week we gave away a set of Jen's Riptide collection, plus 2 of her hats, and Kelly and I have knit. And she was also kind enough to gift us another set to be able to give away tonight. So what do we want to do first? Do you want to talk about this first, or let's talk about this first?
This is exciting. Oh, so you haven't picked a name out yet?
Oh,
she's already picked the name.
Oh, okay.
We haven't announced it yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to tell the story of how the Riptide collection was born?
Yeah. Okay. So that's probably a good idea to start. So it kind of starts actually 2 summers ago. Would it be summer 22? Almost 2 summers ago. So summer 22. And I was doing some design work for the Fibre Co. And so I had come up with a series of designs using this stitch. And so it was quite an exciting thing. And then that was kind of put on the back burner because the yarn that they were looking for didn't quite work out, that they were wanting to launch a whole series of not just my designs in it. And so then I guess that, as I say, put them on the hold like almost 2 years ago. And then I play a lot of tennis. And my 2 loves are tennis and knitting. And so tennis is my sport. I'm not a big gym person and never have been. There's too many really healthy people in there. So I love the social aspect of tennis. So I play a lot of tennis, and I was playing a lot of tennis between December and May in the lead up to like the Summer League, which is a big league that happens every year. And on the opening match of the summer, I literally ripped 2 muscles down across my Achilles and down.
Oh.
Literally, you could hear it on the cord. It
Oh.
was just like, I could not walk off. So anyway, after so many scans and ultrasounds and everything, like all of these rips and all of these muscle diagrams I'd seen was just bringing back this pattern to me. And so my way of nursing myself, because I was on crutches for about 4 weeks, was my Riptide shawl with the 135.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had these gorgeous skeins of Crave Caravan DK, which is a gorgeous non-superwash yarn. Or I mean a gorgeous superwash yarn, because I'm a big non-superwash fan. And so that one nursed me. And I literally sat on my sofa on my deck, knitting and ripping and knitting and ripping.
Wow.
Because the beginning of that shawl, I actually, so here's like the little guy. I have it here on the side. So getting the, where we go? Here we go.
There you go.
Getting the start of that right took a few attempts, because I just wanted it to work right, and playing with the edge stitches. And it was great. It was therapy. I had loads of time. I couldn't do anything. So I couldn't drive for at least a week. And I couldn't make anything. I couldn't hold anything except sit down.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
In that respect, it was really good. So, and literally just I had these beautiful, as I say, scrumptious skeins of yarn from Yarn Culture. And I was like, this has to be the shawl. And it was, the color is, like the sea and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be called Let Rip or Let's Rip. And then with the sea color of the yarn, I was like, it just became Riptide. And then I did the biggest one first. And then I thought, we could do, because I had another beautiful, this lovely purpley plum color. And I thought, I could do a 1 skein one. And so it evolved. And that's what happens when I do something. I start here and it ends up somewhere else. And I kind of have never got an end game where I know exactly where it's going to finish. It's quite an organic process. So I have a general idea, and then I try and, I guess, solve the problem to get to there. And it kind of meanders a bit, and then we end up with.
So how did you originally get into designing?
How did I get in? I've always liked designing. So I guess I've always had it in me. Like my background is like maths and computers, and you probably are thinking, what, how is that? But I used to design like interfaces and a lot of coding, and then I used to design systems in a former job. And so I just always have loved trying to figure out, well, here's the end game and how do we get there? So it's just always been part of me. So knitting, I've always loved knitting, because we were taught knitting in Ireland. I'm from Ireland. And as kids, I think up until about the mid-80s, every single kid, including the boys, were taught how to knit and cook. In elementary
important
school.
Skills.
Really important. So they know how to boil an egg as well. So it's like, it's really important. And my husband has funny, stories of like needles getting stuck into the side of him because he sat on the sofa or whatever. But everybody did it. So I've kind of always, between that and my mum being a knitter, she loved knitting as well. It just kind of, the design and the knitting then came together, and I didn't start designing, I guess, full on until I'm trying to figure out, I guess 2019, when we came back to New York a second time. I thought, right, this is it. I'm just doing this full time. And it's been a whirlwind of an adventure, I have to say. It's been such a fulfilling career, and it's full of challenges, and then you get through those, and then it's just, it's like puzzle solving. I love it. Yeah.
Well, we have really enjoyed making the patterns. And when you talk about how you were sort of, finagling to get the start. So all I'm doing now is casting off the other end of my Riptide. And I very much appreciate that detail that you put into it, because honestly, as you are creating these stitches going up on the angle, it is beautiful. It is really so very well designed.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
thought that when I made the vest, and then I went on and I made this, and I've also made the mitts, and I'm not stopping there. I have other patterns of yours that I want to make, but I
Yep.
truly loved, and that's what I kept saying to Noelle when I was doing the vest. I'm like, the attention to detail, like just how you would, introduce a different stitch just to make that new stitch sit so beautifully in the fabric is really, really well done.
Thank
really
you.
well done.
Yeah, I can be a little annoyingly anal in that respect. So, and that's why I frog a lot. My husband is like, "Oh my God, you're ripping again." I said, "No, it's there, not quite there. I'm almost, and that's it." And it's just fine tuning it. And I like it to be. It's kind of like do it right or don't do it at all. That's always been my kind of motto. So I just, and I just, I wanted the edge of this to work because I've then used that in the edge of the Riptide vest. And so it's carried, so it develops. So you get one thing then that you can reuse across other designs. And it's fantastic because you've done the hard work. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to plug that in here. And it's fun. I enjoy it.
So maybe we'll talk a little bit about we're all wearing the Riptide slipover.
Yay!
So this was, I think, the pattern Kelly started it all for us, because as soon as she cast that on, I wanted one, and then I was intrigued by the stitch, and I just wanted to do the stitch. So I did the 135 with the 1.
Oh yes.
And and it went on from there. So
you
Kelly,
did that with a little twinkle, didn't you?
Yes. Actually, I have a picture here.
It's so cute.
And I liked wearing it just as the tie, because it's so versatile. There's so many different ways.
I love it. Yes, you can try and strangle yourself in multiple ways.
Yep. Yep. But anyways, I actually did that, and the mitts as a set, and I actually gave it away, so I have to do another one. I gave it away as a gift.
Oh, you're so kind.
Well, and it was very well appreciated, and it's actually going to Paris with the owner.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So she was very excited about it. So that was nice. But
walking down the streets of Paris, you can't get any better than that.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. I should put a little tag that says Riptide.
Well, it's a really lovely gift because I'm on one skein of a sport weight yarn, and that's what I chose to make my set out of. And I still have this left. Yeah. And as I said, I'm at the point now where I'm going to do the second point, and then mine has doesn't show up very well in here, but it does have the sparkle in there as well. Yep. And
I see it. Yeah, I see a little glimmer of it. Yes. That's such a cute yarn. The little
fleck. It really is. And I just love it. And I think this would be such a nice set to knit for anybody that you wanted to give away as a gift. Like it's a beautiful, to have a lovely shawl for your neck and a little something to keep your hands warm. It's just a really, really nice gift. And one skein economical. We like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And of course you don't have to use the whole skein either. You can make it shorter and just.
Yeah. So Jen, why don't you tell us about your vest and what you made it out of?
Mm-hmm.
So this is made actually from, going back to Fabrico again. So they've got a new yarn that they launched. It's probably last year, I think, beginning last year, maybe the end of 22, when we were talking about what will come, because that pattern is going to be coming this spring. So, and it will be part of the Riptide family. But yes, so this yarn is their And Make DK. So I think they launched 3 yarns in their And Make series. I think they got, as every second person in the world picked up knitting during 2020 with COVID. Right. A lot of people. And I think it's kind of aimed at maybe a younger market. It's very, very colorful, but there are some beautiful muted tones because I love muted tones. And it's a mix of, there's a beautiful blend. I mean, Daphne is probably one of the most amazing supportive yarn people out there in the industry today. She's so encouraging. When I was nobody, she was just completely behind me. And I mean, like, I'm still getting there, but when I literally 147 followers on Instagram or something, they're absolutely, and they're just so, that whole company is so encouraging and so empowering. So I have to say that plug about Daphne. I love her. So anyway, so this is their DK yarn. There's an Aran weight as well. And then I think there may be a fingering weight. Although this one's kind of in between it's the problem with DK, you know, it can be sport or it can be worsted, and it just loses all of that. So you really do have to play with the gauge and do your swatching.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, you as a designer, you cannot not cast on with, unless you've done it previously. But you new yarn, you have to literally play with it on a couple of different sizes of needles, and you know straight away. You kind of have a feel what way it's going to block when you wet it and wash it and see how it goes. So yeah, so this is kind of like it's an in between lightweight. So it's a great one for like summer. Going into autumn or you know, and then of course if you're wearing it indoors just all the time under with the shirt under it, it's quite lightweight, because I think there's merino there, I think there's a bit of alpaca, there's linen in it. It's a really beautiful blend. Daphne puts the most beautiful blend of fibers together. They really are.
That's from the Fiber Co.
It's from the Fiber Co.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what this guy is.
Okay, and Kelly, yours is?
Are both of yours from the Knitting Loft?
No. This is Moondrake.
That's Moondrake.
Yeah, this is the Corridale DK, and this is definitely, I would say, a DK. It's plump, it's thick, and I saw this color. It's called Burnt Orange. I saw this as a display color in Pick Up Every Stitch. They had the Friday slipover knit in this, and I just fell in love with the color. And it's not a color I would normally shop for, but I like this color now so much that I may have a little more of this color on the way, or something very similar to it. I really like it. It's amazing to me how such a bold color can actually be a neutral, and I have found so many things to wear it with. So I'm just thrilled. Before we mention too, Noelle, I want to talk about yours too, but we've got a viewer here that has a question and wants to know if you've considered doing a V-neck version of this.
I've had a lot of requests for that, so it might be there.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah. And mine is just a new finished object for this week, and mine is done in the Knitting Loft. This is their Mesa yarn, which is 100% Peruvian wool, non-superwash, and it is a sport weight. So I actually did do a gauge swatch. Believe it or not, I actually did a gauge swatch. So my stitch gauge was tighter, but I just adjusted by doing the math and then going up to a size that accommodated the extra, my gauge. Yeah. Because I knew I liked the fabric. I knew I didn't want to knit it at a looser gauge. So I knew I liked the fabric. So it was easy enough to go and figure out from the pattern what size I should knit in order to get the fit that I wanted. And I did actually, I do have a couple of photos. Let me just pull them up here. Okay, so that's kind of just because I love the split at the side.
Oh my God, I love your hair.
Jeez. Okay, love this split there. And here's the just kind of the front. So it looks so good with the denim. And then there's another one that just shows kind of the detail in the front. But this will definitely not be my last.
The fit on you, is gorgeous. So you obviously did the right calculations. It's really
so this is it only took, they're 100-gram skeins. It only took 1.8 skeins.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So much more economical to do a vest too than to do a whole sweater. And honestly, I think from a vest you'll get more wear out of it because you've got more seasons that you'll be able to wear it in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gosh, that's amazing. And I can't believe you just pick that up and pick up every stitch. That's awesome. That's literally about 40 minutes from me.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
So we were there when we stopped on our way to Rhinebeck. And so we'd not been there before, obviously. But actually, Rochelle was there that day. She had a pop-up for Moondrake. And again, so this color was gone. And there were a few of us that wanted this color. So we had to order it. And so she went home and dyed it and then sent it to us. But yeah, I do absolutely love it. And I think it's perfect for this vest. I have a quick picture I can pop into just so you can see it, because it's hard to see when we're sitting. But
we have lots of people. We have lots of people we have lots of people, Jen, commenting here that they're casting it on.
Yes. So, I think it's just so wearable.
It is
so wearable, and so we really love it. And as soon as I was making it, and I was telling Noelle, like, all along, I said, "Oh, you're going to love this one," because she had just finished the Friday slipover. And one of the things that I really liked about it was the like the very nice detail at the side and the sleeves. And then I said, "Oh, this vest has it all too. It has such like a beautiful finish coming down into the arm side, and it's just." And I think this, you know, this broken seed stitch on this, or not broken seed, the broken rib on the sides and then down into the hem, it's very clever. I really, really like it. And I think it just makes for a very sharp looking vest. It's very professionally
and
done.
It's so nice to do your edging here at the same time, so you don't have to go back and pick up stitches.
Yes, no picking up the stitches. Yes, it's very nice.
I do quite like that seamless, but I have to say thank you for putting me in your praise with the Friday slipover. That's quite a good one.
So do you have some other designs there that you'd like to show us?
Oh, let me see. What do I want to show? God, I've got so many. Actually, my desk is a complete mess. It's really good that you cannot see this. It's like I did a quick tidy up behind me going, just put this right. So like, oh my goodness. So I guess what I'll talk about, because I did pick this one out because I thought this one was probably, this is my Sea Whisper cow. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
This is just a one skein, and this is in fingering weight.
Okay.
So one skein cow, you'll get the whole thing out of it. And this was like what I call probably one of my most successful swatches ever, because it just kind of grew. It went on my needles, and it just kept kind of growing. And then it was like, oh, let's do this. And then it was like, rip, let's balance it out, put the same pattern on the opposite side to give symmetry. But this is what was the beginning of my sea collection, and all of my sea sweaters and hats, and I think there's knits there too. So yeah, this is a great, again, this is actually this is going to Belfast. This is
it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Emma Robinson of Woolly Mammoth. Now she does amazing. You know her, or you know her yarn?
I know of her just through watching her.
Yeah, she's fabulous, and she makes and sources the most beautiful yarn, wools that she gets.
Right.
And so I had some from my travels to one of the little Belfast retreats. Oh gosh, maybe from back in 2018, I think I grabbed some skeins. And then, because this was just, it's so soft, I think it's like, maybe it's BFL, I'm not 100% sure, but it's that. And from that, I'm trying to figure out, I made, let me see what's back there. Hang on a second.
Okay.
It's here. I take it out. It's probably all crimply. I did my Sea Haven.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And so I just took elements
of it, yeah.
And it's just like a yoke, and this is 100% lamb's wool. It's Lure. Like, this one is a fiber coat. Again, back to fiber coat. And but again, this is like, I think 19 stitches. So it's amazing how this gives such a strong definition using like US 6 or 4 millimeter needles, and it just knits up so fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of my favorite yokes. I knit this yoke because you can have it in short sleeves. There's waist shaping and options in it, and I think I knit maybe 3. So it's quite quick, and it's really enjoyable. Oh, I'm going off center. Here we go. It's the opposite. It's a very enjoyable yoke, and it comes out really quick, and then you're like, wow, I'm not arm separation.
It keeps your interest because you keep changing the stitch patterns.
And this is it. You use little sections, and I find that that's what was so popular with this. I think people, it just, because they're like, oh, I can't let it down because I'm in the next section. Oh, I just want to finish this little bit, and they just and so by doing that, I learned a lot of, from what people really loved. And so I try and listen to what people really like with it. And so it's like, then you try and redo that again in your other designs. And then I think there was another cow, and then it just kind of is ever growing. So there's definitely going to be at least one other design. Here we go. I'm going up center again. in the C collection, maybe two.
Okay.
So it's not quite put to bed yet, because I know Riptide's kind of come in there and said, "Out of my way."
Yeah.
And then I guess this is another one, this one again, I started to put some details. Again, it's taking out, again, 2 other stitch patterns out of this and adding them into this sweater, and then doing this eyelet.
That's gorgeous too.
Between.
Beautiful.
And again, the stitch definition, I see this is where the non-superwash gives you that light loftiness, and you know what the yarn's going to do. It behaves itself. It does exactly what it tells you to do. And that's why I think I have an affinity for those yarns.
So those are your go-to, your favorite yarns?
Pardon?
Like, are those your go-to favorite yarns?
They are, but I also do love, like, as I say, not like this is luxurious. So if I want to wear something super soft around my neck or a shawl, you know, the superwash are absolutely, and this is a glorious yarn. There's silk, there's camel, there's cashmere, and there's extra fine merino. It's like, it's luscious. It really is just, it's a gorgeous yarn, and the DK version of this is fabulous. I have another favorite, a yarn that actually I got on when I was starting out on my travels, which was this guy. So this is from this is an Icelandic yarn. Again, this will be a
is it this yarn?
It is that yarn.
So this arrived today.
That's just ridiculous timing.
So I entered Jennifer's weekend hat along, hats off to 2024, and I knit the Skoger. Is it Skoger? Am I pronouncing that right?
It's so funny. I looked it up. It's actually pronounced Skoj. I think it's nothing like Skoger at all. It's like Skoj. So if Kristen is on from Enram or anybody from Iceland, you can completely just go, that is not how you pronounce it. Because all of my Icelandic, or anytime I've designed on this yarn, I've actually kept with an Icelandic name for the pattern, because I just the sheep they're kind of like the quite wiry sheep you get in Ireland, and so it's mixed in with silk and to just soften it up. And this is the most lightweight fabric, but so warm, because
it feels like it's going to be really warm, and you can see like the silk in there, the silk wrapped around the fiber. It's really nice.
It is. It's a beautiful yarn, and it behaves, like, as I say, and it's fantastic for brioche because it's sticky. It has extra bite in that. So if you're trying to learn, if you're trying to do brioche, I would definitely recommend you start with a sticky or like a non superwash yarn. You need something that your yarn's not going to slip all over the place with. And I do love this blend. The fibers, as you wear it, the fibers just relax and soften. So it's like alive. It's an amazing. It's really lovely. So that's another one of my favorites. So gosh, I could go on all night.
I know, and it's nice to try new yarns, and nice to, but like, I think I like rustic yarns, but I agree with you too. If you're doing something that's just kind of for around your neck, or it all depends what you're going to do with it. Like for shawls, when you're not so concerned about the shape staying exactly the same, but I do for sweaters, like
I want some really nice soft hats, and
I'm looking forward to using that yarn. I'm going to make the bubbly brioche beanie.
Okay.
Yes. And I think that'll be a good way to showcase that yarn. That's that one.
Yes. So beautiful. I love the big palm. It's so cute.
It looks really good with your vest, Noelle.
It does actually.
It looks very nice.
It does actually, that color. And that's, even though my the colorful yarn there is a superwash, the main color is Retrosario Mondine.
Okay.
So it's a good
Nice.
Portuguese non-superwash.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
That's
so
very
then, and it's
cool.
nice. I do actually like that sometimes, putting the two different ones together, like a
Mhm.
more rustic yarn with a luxurious yarn, and you just get that.
Yes.
Oh, you get a
Yes.
brilliant pairing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Well, this is, you have to experiment, because there's no right or wrong. It's just,
No.
you've just got to see how it reacts, and it reacts in your hands, your needles, and after washing. That's
Mhm,
kind of it.
mhm.
And then it's like, okay, it's going to work or it's not going to work. And yeah, but you know, it's like there's no formula. This is just,
No.
yeah.
So
Talking
do you
about,
have any
your
plans for the next
just
little while? Like, are you going to any yarn festivals, or I know you just went to Vogue.
Yeah, gosh, Vogue was so much fun on Saturday. There were less vendors there. They'd opened up the space. I think they had got new lighting in the hotel. So there was a loads of winds. It just felt very chilled and very relaxed. And I actually got to meet Hoki. I was like,
Oh, that's nice.
nice.
she is even more stunning in real life. Oh my gosh. So I was just like, I couldn't speak. So yeah, she's an amazing designer. So it was amazing to meet her. And I miss sorry Nerdland. She was there too, but I missed
Okay.
her. And but we had so much fun meeting up with so many amazing knitters at the bar, just going around, the knitting husbands. I mean, there were so many. It was really good fun. So yeah, I
Good.
quite
That's
enjoyed
good.
it, and I got some lovely yarn. So, and
Here's a question. Are you, do you consider yourself to have a large stash, or are you not a stasher?
yeah, I started out not being, and I was quite
Okay.
particular about, I'm going to use that, and now it's I'll see something and I'll go, ooh, that could be great for that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll just see the yarn and go, oh, this is gorgeous. I need to just get it, and I've no idea what I'm going to use it for. So
Right.
yeah, so it's growing. And I
Yeah.
have bags on that side of the wall that have literally been there since Rhinebeck that have not gone on the shelf yet. So.
Oh, we get that. I totally get that. That's all good. All good.
Mine
All
is
good.
all organized now.
It's
Now.
so
Mine is
Now.
all organized now.
I
So
keep saying I'm not doing any more designs until I tidy up the studio and figure out what I have, and that goes out the window too. So,
well, yeah, I said that at the beginning of January. It didn't even last for all of January.
yeah, but I don't know.
It's
I've never
hard.
been to Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, and I'll probably go back to Rhinebeck because that's like an hour and a half from where I live.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to get to, and it's a beautiful drive up to it. But
How about Knit City, Toronto?
I know I have to get to Toronto. Somebody asked me, could I go there? And I was like, I'd love to go because it's the beginning of May, isn't it?
It's
This
actually
year?
The long
it's
weekend in May.
Our
Our
long
long
Yeah.
weekend. So
So
it's the
I've got
weekend
a guy
before
who's-
your long weekend.
I would
Yeah.
love to go, but I've like a high school senior, and
Yeah.
it's just that's the month of APs, and I just
Yeah.
kind of like to keep it all, even keel at home and no big adventures. And so yeah, but I'm just then I'll be like, ooh, he's gone. So anyways. But yeah, so yeah, unfortunately not this year, and I haven't been to Toronto in years, and I love that city. I love the architecture there. It's gorgeous. Yeah, and I think I've used some of the arches. I think it's a Calatrava's. He did one of the building interiors, and I just absolutely, I love his style. So yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from architecture, from buildings, and kind of the sea and the coast. They're my two biggest kind of things. I take my things, my inspiration from. Yeah, it's hard to look at anything now and you just go, oh,
No.
there's
Yeah.
another, and it's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Just not enough
Yeah.
time.
Lisa wants to know which of your brioche patterns for a virgin brioche knitter, somebody that's not knit before.
I love it. Virgin
Do you have-
So I would suggest, and I've kind of done it like an odd class or two, is the Screpa. That's the Screpa cowl. And it's literally, you start off with 1 by 1 2-color brioche. And so learning to knit brioche in the round, I think, is far easier than knitting it flat for learning. because you're just working one round in the yarn, then you're picking up the other one, and then you're working that. And it's kind of a bit like slip stitch and mosaic knitting, where you're just managing one at a time, and you can manage your stitches. And once you've learned that, then I would suggest you go to your and stick with the 2 colors, because you can read the yarns easier and you can correct your brioche. I would say easier, but just be bold with it. I have some video tutorials for, just rip it down and then just pick it up again. Just go for it. Don't rip it all out and do yarn.
So that was,
and there's tears and more tears. So it's just have some patience with it at the beginning. And then once you get that, but I would start with Scrappa. It's probably my most basic, because then it goes into some, actually, I don't think I have. So I use this again, because it's part of this. So it literally has one column of bark stitches, one column of burps. So you're barking and you're burping, or you're purling and you're knitting. And then at the top, it has this little, go this way. This has this little design that allows you to do your increases. So it gets you in the rhythm, and then you venture into the increases. But all of my patterns have tutorials and video tutorials to do everything.
And they're very good too, because I had to use them.
in each of the steps. So it's there. And just stop them, play them, do it, redo it. And that's, it's just have a bit of patience, and then you'll fly with it. So
this was only the second, this was only the second brioche project I've ever knit. So
that's amazing.
I definitely needed refreshers, because the first one was a few years ago. So I definitely needed I checked out a couple of your videos, and I'm like, oh, she explains it so very well. So yeah, highly recommend. And Klaska's in here tonight too. She's somebody that's been a knit chatter for a while, and she knit this hat as well. I saw her. She had the beautiful green one, and in your yes.
Oh, I have to see that.
And she said that she knit a second one in black and red to go with her coat, and she just loves it. So it's absolutely a lovely pattern.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So I link that Scrappa pattern in the show notes, so that if anybody wants to go to it. Now, do you have a website where it has like your tutorials for different things on it?
Yeah, it's all in YouTube under like JST Knitwear Designs.
So you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel. Okay. I'm never on there. You'll see my hands a lot.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah. But I'll link that too then.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so JST Knitwear Designs is the channel name. Yeah,
we'll add that to our show notes.
Yeah, there's a ton of tutorials in there, not just for brioche, but for other things. And so just been kind of adding to it every time I do something different. I'll just go, I'll just record that. Yeah.
Julie's in here as well, and she also loves the attention to detail in your patterns. She said she usually gets some frustration with a new stitch pattern because she struggles to visualize it, but zero frustration, zero ripping back. And she's so grateful for how well written your patterns are. And I think that's a real testament, because honestly, as a knitter, I think there are a few things, aside from having to rip a project out, that is more frustrating than spending your money to get a pattern and then really struggling to knit it and just being kind of left in the dark and not knowing. And trust me, your patterns, nobody could be that way reading your patterns. They're so very well written.
To hear that. Thank you. Yeah. I'll have done the ripping for you. So there we go.
Yes. Yeah. You get that out of the way for us. Yeah.
I'll do it for all of you.
And Marianne's in here tonight too, and we'll move into the giveaway after this. But
oh my goodness, this is the lady who won
the Instagram winner.
Hello, Marianne.
Yes, and Jen did the draw, and then she sent a message through to me that morning, and she says, "Oh, do you know that this? I just did the draw, and this is the winner. Do you know this person?" And I said, "Well, just a little." She may live on the other side of the country, and we only see her once a year, but definitely, yes, we know her.
Oh my gosh,
and her sister as well.
It's actually quite funny, because I normally get my son. My son wasn't around, so Viv Crestfield, who is always with me on my cows. Oh my God, she's the angel of unlimited love for everybody, I have to say. And so I was like, oh, can you just can you pick a number? She goes, I don't want to pick the number. I said, okay, ask Bob to pick the number, which is her husband. So he picks out a number, and then I'm scrolling through 140 something and just going down like, okay. So I didn't even pick the number. And then the fact that you know Marianne, which is like, this is too coincidence.
Yeah, it was very nice. And I know that Marianne will knit those patterns too. And I'm sure
Yes,
she's
she will,
probably
for
already
sure.
got some cast on. She's a prolific knitter. So
Okay, so Dawn would like to know if you can share the shawl that's hanging behind you.
The shawl that's hanging behind me.
If you turn around.
Oh, I've got a couple of shawls back here. Is it the pink one?
I think probably the pink
she's
one.
reading the one directly behind. Yep.
Here. Yeah. Oh,
yes.
This is again, this is like another one skein shawl.
It's beautiful.
And, with a little bit of mohair. So if you find scraps of mohair in the same color.
Wow.
So literally it's like a fun, light, super, it's like it was designed as an idea for wearing in the evening at a wedding.
Very pretty.
And
gorgeous.
I know some people have worn it and they've wrapped it around and they've done it tight and they've done that with it too, and just kind of had it, and it's really super soft.
What's the name of it, Jen?
This is Wispy Haze, I think is the name. Yes, it's called Wispy Haze. And okay, this is literally a skein of Emma. Oh my goodness, Emma's Yarns in Florida. I have to say, big shout out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they really like that.
Amazingly supportive to me, I have to say, on this, again, supporting nobody out of the blue. And Laura is amazing, and they're so beautiful. Both of them are like sisters. So yeah, so that is her. I think it's her silk her silk fingering. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's beautiful. And then a little bit of the mohair, and you'll have loads of the mohair left over, so you can do another one. But this developed into Whisper After Dark, which is like a little kind of evening top I did.
Mm-hmm. I remember that pattern. It's nice.
Element, and I just ran it across the top of a yoke, and so there's a long sleeve and a short sleeve version. But yes, this is it held singular. So you work the garter stitch with just one. You're not doing both yarns. I don't think I did both yarns. Maybe I did. I can't remember. No. And then you work the mohair here in the single. Yeah.
So perfect way to use one of your special skeins. That
this is it exactly. Yeah. So Wispy Haze is what this guy is. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Dawn said it's a must-have.
Yes.
So
Joanne says, excuse me, the Sea Haven sweater, the neck is a little wider than she would normally wear. Is there a good way that you could suggest for her to make that smaller?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you could do is, does she make it with that without the rib or with the rib? Because there's so many options for the necks in that. So I don't know does she make it with the rib or does she make it with just the rolled neck?
We might have to just wait for her to answer us back.
Yeah. Or I could say, so if she did it with the rib and it's still too wide, what I would suggest that she do is just undo the end, because it was there. Was that picked up from the beginning? Oh, yeah. So again, it depends on whether, because I did an afterthought neck. There's too many options in that. It was almost called the option sweater, because we had like, well, if you don't do that now, you can do it later. So what she could do is pick up again around the rib, and then what you would do is do a series of like decreases. So how many, or whatever her stitch count was, if she was to divide that by, say every 8th stitch, and then do a knit two, or do like a knit two together with a pass slip stitch over, so you could get 2 stitches decreased at the same time, and then basically shrink it down as you go back in.
Okay.
That, yeah.
Yes. And that was with the rib, right? That was because that's what she's answered back.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the rib.
Yeah, it's just unpick the edge and then just pick it up again and knit up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Should we announce our winner?
I think we should announce our winner.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. We should have a drum roll. Okay, so we had lots of people respond, and lots of people that loved your patterns, and picking out a pattern that wasn't in the very generous package, but they liked lots of other patterns too. So it was nice to go and see all the names and go back in, and I know my list is about this long now. So
yes.
So I need to get this done so I can go start a new one. Okay, so our winner is Elaine Keenan, 9741. And Elaine said, love your work, ladies. I love the Summerlicious. And I know your Summerlicious was a little summer top that's got brioche up at the top.
Yeah.
My Summerlicious is, yes, that is,
yes,
a very, very, again, that's a great, if you want to do a bit of brioche in a sweater, that is definitely another really straightforward, because it's just 2 color brioche in the round. And I think that's the one I ripped down where I was actually doing it incorrectly myself. And I went, I ripped that. And so I just literally drop it. There's like a tutorial there for picking it up. But Elaine Keenan, well done. Nice.
Yes, congratulations, Elaine.
You can send me on the details and I'll drop all them into your Ravelry account in the morning.
So, Elaine, you can contact us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com with your information, and we will make sure that information gets passed along to Jennifer, and we will send you, with your Ravelry name, we will send you the Summerlicious pattern. And can't wait to set it up. So.
Keenan is an Irish name, so this
it is an Irish name.
I mean, like we're all coming Kelly, like yourself. It's like, it's a full Irish night tonight.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Even the new baby, Declan.
Declan,
Declan. Oh my gosh, you can't get any more. It's very Irish. So yes,
this is our full Irish podcast today.
It's fantastic.
But anyways, and thank you so much to everybody that entered. We really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us and checking out Jen's patterns. And if you knit any of her patterns, I'm sure you'll agree with us that she's an amazing designer and you will enjoy every stitch. So just cast on.
Thank you guys so much. It's just, I I appreciate all you've done to like showcase my stuff. And I'm very flattered and very honored, and thank you.
Well, we've had a lot of fun getting to know you.
Amazing.
It seems to have happened, first, I knit a vest, and the next thing I know, we're chatting on Instagram, because that's the great equalizer, isn't it? And just going back and forth. And I feel like we've known you for a very long time.
Same.
And
I feel like we've just met, but yet we've I totally agree.
Yes. So
and we want to thank you so much for joining in. We have lots of viewers too, Jen, that are thanking you and telling us how much they love your work and glad that they had a chance to visit with you.
Oh, I'm beaming here. Thank you.
And as you probably know,
we really have the best group. We have the best.
We do.
Viewers.
This is the
they
best
are amazing and loyal and just
there were a lot of when I posted today, a lot of people going, "Oh my God, it's the best night of the week!"
There's so many people in the chat that encourage each other, and just it's so heartwarming to read through it.
And that's what it is all about. It is all about encouraging and helping and just corralling together. I totally get you. Yeah, it really is.
So thank you so much for donating that pattern package as well. I think it was just an amazing package. It was so much fun. And I think everybody in here had a lot of fun trying to get the patterns as well. And I think even if they weren't winners, I'm pretty sure that they purchased some new patterns along the way. And we look forward to that. We're also hosting a vest along as one of our Makealongs for this year, and that runs from January until March. And I know that there are probably more than a few slip-over vests in there as well. And it's definitely been a favorite of ours. And we're just so thrilled to be, part of this knitting community as well. As you said, going to the event this past weekend, it's just, and you leave and you just feel so inspired that you want to do all the things, and you want to knit all the things, and you cast on all the yarn that you bought. It's just like such a boost to your spirit to be around that group of people that are like-minded and creative and hands-on to do a craft, and so proud of what they finish. And I don't know about you, but like, we are as excited to see somebody else's knitting project as we are to see the projects that we've knit ourselves. Like, it gives us joy to wear them, but then we get so excited when we go somewhere. We're like, oh, I knit that one too. Yours is gorgeous. And, I think as a group, we've got to be some of the most complimentary group of people to really pick out what everybody else is wearing, and really to appreciate what efforts have gone into the garment, and to see how amazing it looks on somebody. It's just, yeah, they just light up when they talk about it. It's such a, I think it's, you know, like it's like a gift for us to be able to do this, to appreciate one another, and to be able to create things for ourselves, and or else just to create something that we can give away and see somebody. And that's the ultimate compliment, is when you see somebody wearing something that you took the time to make. So I can imagine, as a designer, this must feel amazing for you when you're sort of, and you see one of your designs out in the wild when you're out. It must just feel amazing.
It is. The high is, it's I can't equate it to something. It's like, whoa. And it never gets old, ever. So it's the best compliment you could ever get. It really, really is. It's so lovely. And then the people, they've enjoyed the process, and then they enjoy wearing, and you just can't beat it. That natural high is, it's fabulous. It really is.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing your future designs.
Absolutely.
I know you've just been brilliant and just whipping up the latest one.
Well, I can't show that yet. We will show that, but I didn't even show it to Kelly.
No, she didn't. This is a surprise to me too.
Funny. Oh my goodness.
Nope, Jen said don't show it, so I didn't show it.
There is a test.
I don't think she meant me.
No, there was a test.
Say that.
But you guys are knitting them and testing them so fast that I might actually be able to bring back the release date a little earlier than.
Oh, well, that's good. Good.
How it goes.
Very good.
It's phenomenal. I'm like, okay. So
well, it was a super knit. It was fun.
So
I might start another one.
It'll be a fun. Yeah. So
I might scale it down for a kid version.
Oh yeah. Yes, I know. I almost did that, and then I think I ran into maybe too big of a jump, but maybe then a child's hat would probably could.
I might just do it in finer weight yarn.
Or do
and
that.
then you wouldn't have to change, right?
Yeah,
then you wouldn't have
drop
to
some
change
needle
all that.
sizes.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is what it's all interchangeable. And so, but I don't like test knit sending, because I feel like you've got this cute little, it's like you're having a little mini private cow, and then everybody just goes away. And it's like, and it's really weird. But then everybody leaves, more closer to whoever they've got to know, and
yeah.
But it is literally, I love them because it is literally like a little private mini cow. I have to say, it's be fun.
Yes,
so,
yes,
yeah.
Very good. Okay, well, I think we are pretty much at the end of our evening. So again, we just want to say a huge thank you for coming on here and joining us in our cozy little knit chat cafe. It's snowing outside, but it's cozy in here.
Oh wow! You've got snow. Oh, we've just got very gray and horrible rain.
Well, it's been gray for a week here, and I'm ready to see some sunshine. But the weather's always good here in the cafe, so we're always happy about that. So.
Oh, well, it's been an honor, and thank you so much. And I don't feel quite so scared right now. So
I told you there'd be nothing to be nervous about. You've done an amazing job, and it's been very nice. It's always, I think, very also inspirational to hear sort of the ideas behind your designs. And it's like when you read a book, you always wonder, like, where did the author get their inspiration? And I think that's the same as knitting a pattern. You think, what made Jen decide to put this together in a pattern? So it's been very kind of you to share this information with us tonight and give us a little background. And I think, everybody feels that, when they've met somebody on here, well, now they kind of know you too, right? Yeah. So now it's like, well, I'm knitting Jen's pattern. You'll quickly go to a first name basis with the knitters.
Oh, that's absolutely fine with me.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and we've had a wonderful time. We hope that you did, and we hope that you'll be back again next week. And in the meantime, everybody, happy knitting.
Happy knitting. Oh my God.